The Nuggets get a weird win. I know that sounds weird. What could be weird about a win? Well, this win was weird, and we'll talk about it on Locked On Nuggets.
You are Locked On Nuggets, your daily Denver Nuggets podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome to Locked On Nuggets, your daily Denver Nuggets podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Thanks for joining us, making this party today. Appreciate you guys being with us here on Saturday. Recording this Friday night at 11:47 p.m.
Woo.
After the Nuggets get the win over the Los Angeles Clippers, 120-98 in what, yes, indeed, was a weird win. We'll talk about how weird it was and why and who and when and where and all sorts of things here on Locked On Nuggets. Glad to have you guys with us. Chat's bumping. You can check that out over at youtube.com/LockedOnNuggets and give us a like and subscribe over there. We are zooming towards 8,500 subscriptions on our way to 10,000. We're going to get there sooner than later. Appreciate you guys all doing that for us. Tell a friend. Throw it down there. I'm Matt Moore. I'm at a bunch of places. He's Ryan Blackburn. He's a Mile High Sports, Big Axe and Roll podcast. Swipa and I will probably do a show later in the day on Saturday, because we didn't do Swipe and Gripe. And so he and I will talk about stuff on Friday, including apparently you guys made a bet, and which we'll have to.
Yeah, I mean, I'm probably going to get a Tommy Shelby haircut because that's just how my luck has been going. That's if Denver goes 9-1 in these next 10 games. It was kind of a weird ass bet. But like if they go 5-5 or worse, then he has to shave the beard. We'll see how it goes, but
I don't know. Now I don't know. Now I don't know who to root for. I don't know who to root for you on this one. Nuggets get the win, 120-98. This box score is a piece of work. Like, it's just a piece of work. So, okay, let's start here. Like, for Nuggets fans, here's like the weird thing. You won a game in which Jokic scored 16 points when he is averaging 32 on the season. He took 9 shots in this game. And again, you won. He had 2 assists in this game. Nikola Jokic had 2 assists, and you won a basketball game.
That's
against
good.
An NBA opponent.
Yeah.
Let's see. How about this?
Jamal had 6 turnovers.
Jamal had 6 turnovers, but still had more assists than Nikola. Jamal led the team in steals with 4, and then was offended that I asked him about it.
I listened back to it, by the way. He was like, I get a lot of steals. I'm having a pretty good, solid defensive season, which he's kind of half right about.
Like, I'm not even like gonna argue. Like, are there games I can point to be like, well, I don't know any good defense in that game, but no. Yes, but I'm not even doing that. I've talked about like some of the good defense. I just want to talk to him about the steals. That was it.
Yeah.
I just want anyway. Leading rebound. How about this? Who led the Nuggets in rebounds tonight?
Was it DeAndre Jordan off the bench?
DeAndre Jordan.
14 minutes.
DeAndre Jordan, who played 14 minutes of this contest, had 9 points and was a +4. Julian Strother had 12 points and was a +7.
Nice.
And Peyton Watson had 14 points and was +9. The bench won their minutes. How about James Harden shot 6 of 14 from the field in the same game that Norman Powell shot 6 of 14 from the field?
Wild.
So I'm driving home.
4 free throws combined between the two of them, by the way, and 9 turnovers for James Harden.
4 free throws? The Nuggets had 14 turnovers at half and won?
Yeah.
A guy in a Santa costume hit the drum for the second half. The Gold were playing an elf costume. So I'm on my way home. Go check that out if you haven't seen it on the internet. I'm going on my way home, and I know what happened tonight.
Yeah.
There's a Geminid meteor shower.
Oh, okay.
I'm not kidding you. I'm driving home, and I'm like, what was that? And then there's like another one, and then like another one, and I'm like, I gotta admit, I was kind of like excited. I was like, wait, are aliens landing?
That'd be sick.
Like with where the things are at right now, I'm like, that sounds like a better alternative. So I was like, but anyway, so that's what happened is like the meteor shower messed up something, either that or like the Clippers went out and got real drunk this week.
Jet fuel melted the steel beams tonight.
We're not talking about MPJ. Bones Highland play. By the way, here's another weird stat. Bones Highland has never won in Denver.
That's pretty sick, actually.
In a game he played in, he's won, but not in games that he's played in. He's 0-2. He played once in 2022. Has not played in Denver since. He was not in the rotation. Played tonight. Was a -14. Shot 4 of 8 from the field. Okay, I think I've gotten through all the weird stuff.
Yeah.
Nuggets defense pretty good tonight.
First time that they have held a team under 100 points all season. That's a big deal. And one of the things that stood out in this one is that, look, they've already faced the Clippers twice. The Clippers have kicked their butt twice, and they've scored almost at will, despite the fact that the Clippers are not a great show. Like, they're not a great team from an offensive standpoint. But they seem to have a formula against the Nuggets, and they seem to have something that they go to. And the Nuggets finally changed some stuff up. First of all, they got more aggressive and were better in their coverages overall. But second of all, they tried. And third of all, they played drop. Matt, they played drop against James Harden a lot more. And lo and behold, it worked because he didn't make a single shot inside the rim effectively, or inside the arc. It's actually not true based off of the box score, but it felt that way throughout the entire game. You're muted.
So, funny story. He doesn't actually like taking pull-up jumpers.
Mm-hmm.
That was actually a large part of like the findings that I had years ago when I did the whole thing on his game was like, James just like doesn't take them. And he had to work really hard to get a floater because his floater used to suck. It was the weakest part of his game. Yeah. And then he got a really good floater. And so because he played, like, think about it. He played under Daryl Morey. So it was all threes and layups. So James just like eradicated the mid-range jump shot from his game. So if you play drop on him, he's going to try and get to the floater or he's going to try and get to the rim. And if you contain adequately, you can do this. So like very nice adjustment by the coaching staff. Very good job. Good job staying home. They didn't get they gave up. Okay, they did give up 41 3-pointers. But Malone will say, I don't care about the attempts, I care about the makes. That's wrong. I'm just gonna go ahead and that's just mathematically you got to care about the number that you allow, but it's fine. They contested well all night and they kept the Clippers out of rhythm and they did a good job defensively. It was a good defensive night for the Nuggets.
Just overall, Jamal got the defensive player of the game. I think that's Russell Westbrook. Obviously, we should talk about him. Or do you want to talk about him in the next segment? Because he definitely changed some things for Denver energy-wise in this game too.
Nah, it's a bonus episode. We can keep talking. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, Russell Westbrook led the team at +21. He was a major factor for the Nuggets tonight. And I'm always one to try to come up with reasons why, hey, maybe they shouldn't credit Russ for the entire thing, the entire game performance. But he was mostly really good tonight. +21 and just the defensive energy that he put together. He stays in the shirt pocket of both Harden and Powell, doesn't give up open jumpers most of the time. There's occasional rotations that he'll miss, but overall, this was one of his better games for the Nuggets this season, despite the fact that he did not play that great offensively. He didn't shoot the ball exceedingly well and had several turnovers that I thought was not awesome. But okay, I can do it, man. I'm trying. I really look, he was a defensive impact guy. He probably should have won DPOG over Jamal.
Russell Westbrook got a standing ovation at Ball Arena tonight. And Ryan Blackburn is he played pretty well despite all the ways that he sucked. Not bad.
Matt, I am so tired.
Watching you try and compliment Russell Westbrook. I might do this every show now, that you just have to say something nice about Russell Westbrook every show because it's so hard for you.
Look, here's the thing. He helped them win the game. He helped them win. Like he was awesome, and that's one thing
you
that
said
I
that
think
with the same tone as like when, like when people joke with the like teammates that'll talk about when they were on the floor when a guy got 50, like me and LeBron combined for 51 points.
Yeah, and I will. Here's the thing, like I will say, the lob that he had to DeAndre Jordan was sick. His attacking in transition consistently is sick. And the Nuggets had 36 fast break points tonight, and he gets them going. It's not really anybody else. It is him. And the Nuggets lead the NBA in fast break points. And he is a major reason why, because he just ups the temperature in the room on a consistent basis. So there you go. That is a good, come on. Like that's a pretty good compliment right there.
Okay, you can take a breath for a few minutes while I
Whew.
hard. Don't tell Santa Cruz says Matt probably still thinks Saric still has it in him. So DTSC is taking a night off from smashing Jamal because Jamal
he definitely does. Like Matt still definitely believes in Dario.
I mean, I don't know if it's about believing. It's just like I've
knowing.
People really don't like it when I do that. I've done this a long time thing, and I'm sorry. It's just like, okay, fine. If you don't believe me, I impress upon you. Please watch all 30 teams across 15 seasons and see if you notice some patterns.
No, and here's the thing that you need to really push home to people. The Nuggets backup center sucks in Denver and then looks great the next year when he's playing for somebody else. Pretty weird. Like pretty weird how that keeps happening.
Another weird thing. But speaking of, by the way, people want to talk about DeAndre. DeAndre was great again tonight. Like I like that they're starting to throw him lobs. Like it's amazing. Just run pick and roll for the love of God. Yeah. Like second unit, just run pick and roll. Just run spread pick and roll.
It's about getting downhill. And if we want to circle back to crediting Murray tonight a little bit, because he did look a little quicker. That's the message that a lot of the comments were giving me when I was commenting about Jamal on Twitter and just what he was actually doing, was that he looked a little bit more shifty, looked a little bit more quick. And I don't know if I want to go that far entirely, but I do think that like if you get a little bit of the jitterbug, like just a little bit of the shiftiness, he can get downhill a little bit more, get to the rim a little bit more. Maybe that frees up DeAndre to get some of those open lobs, because so much of that is just forcing the defensive center to rotate over and give DeAndre a window.
So Jamal hit that early three to get him going, and then he had another Puget three. But then after that, the actually most impressive one was he hit a snake pull up. So what that means, he came off the pick and he veers right and then back to the left to get to the left side of the floor for that mid range, that deep, like that nail area fadeaway jumper. And like that's not a move that he has gotten to a lot this season, for a number of reasons, spacing concerns and like a lot of other complications. But like he legitimately did pull off like a very good pick and roll snake move. So I would say he was more shifty. Later on, actually, we'll do a break and then we'll come back and we'll talk about some more about this game. Also, so apparently Jamal's got plantar fasciitis, which he just dropped on us before he finished his presser.
Yeah.
That was weird. Catching a trend. We'll be right back here on Locked On Nuggets. With Robinhood Gold, you don't need a silver spoon to eat up the financial favors of the 1%. Robinhood Gold allows others to get the rates and perks usually reserved for the high society. Now, the resourceful individual with Robinhood Gold can earn the very liberal rate of 4.25% APY on uninvested cash and be rewarded with a handsome 3% retirement boost on IRA account contributions. Robinhood Gold provides the privileges of a high net worth for any net worth. These generous benefits are now available for only $5 a month. The new gold standard is here with Robinhood Gold. Sign up at Robinhood.com/gold. Terms apply. For product-specific disclosures, visit Robinhood.com/gold. Investing involves risk. Rate may change. Gold membership is offered by Robinhood Gold LLC. We're also brought to you by FanDuel. Get ready to tackle the NFL action with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. I'm on the Broncos this weekend versus the Colts. Only laying 4. I got it 3.5. That's a great number. That's a great number because I still do 2.5 for home field. 2.5 actually combined. Like it's gonna be 2.5 in one spot, 2.5 in the other. So if you flip this, it would mean that if the Broncos are less than 4.5, that the Colts would be favored at home. And I don't think that that's accurate. Like the Colts can't be favored over the Broncos in any environment. So I think the line's wrong. So I bet the Denver Broncos. The FanDuel Sportsbook app gives you everything you need to place your live bets on the NFL all in one place. When you get a hunch in the middle of the game, like maybe I shouldn't have bet the Broncos, you can check out the latest stats, view live play-by-play, and so much more on the same page where you place your bets. Just visit FanDuel.com to join today. You'll get started with $150 in bonus bets if you win your first $5 bet. You can bet on something like Jaden Daniels to win Offensive Rookie of the Year, as he should. That's FanDuel.com. Never waste a hunch and make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. We'll be right back on Locked On Nuggets. I'm only really doing the digs there because Swipe is in the comments. That's the
yeah. I mean, of course, you would never troll the comments otherwise, right?
No, I do that for for other reasons. So yeah, it's really weird. Don't tell Santa Cruz, who's in our comments every single night talking about how Jamal Murray is the worst player alive. Tonight, no. Like he just like immediately shifted to Saric. Just like target, missing, must recalibrate, haterade, targeting.
Haterade. Yes,
that's targeting 13-year veteran who isn't in the rotation but is still better than Zeke Naji. Like just ridiculous.
Somehow, I like that. That is like the never mind, lowest of low bars.
Okay. So Jamal played great in this game, but offense really wasn't the solution. It was mostly defense. Nuggets did a really good job of creating, I thought, just like disrupting things. Jamal actually did have 2 steals. I asked him about this, and he was just defensive about it. But he like answered it like a little bit. I wish he got more into that because it was like really cool when I got him to talk about it, about how when guys get by you, they're going to move back to their other hand when the help comes. And that's what happened was like the Nuggets were icing the middle of the floor and drop, which means that they were pushing him to the side. So Jamal knew that both Harden and Powell were going to move the ball back to their left hand. So when he gets beat, he turns around and he reaches right into that pocket and he knocks it loose and he gets 2 steals that way. And like, it's like a simple, obvious thing, but it's also Jamal was like, when you do that, when you run pick and roll enough, you know the timing of that sequence. That's like the part that I really like is like, as an offensive player, you understand what the mechanics are for any player that's operating out of that pick and getting downhill and how your body's going to shift to know where to put your, and like you have to anticipate and put your hand in the right place. So
you know who that sounds like, by the way, is Jokic. Yep. That sounds like the way that Jokic is able to sort of read the middle of the floor, read the pocket passes on the defensive side of the thing, because he knows where the pocket pass is supposed to be delivered and has understand that. And I think has taken advantage of that over the course of his career to make himself a better defensive player. And that's one thing that I don't think a lot of people give Jamal enough credit about. He is a cerebral, high IQ offense, like a high IQ player. He knows how to play the game. The questions have never really been about that. They've mostly been about, can you execute the plan? Can you be healthy enough? Can you be physical enough? Can you, like, is the mentality, is that correct on various nights? So I'm glad that we got to see it from Jamal on this one. I'm obviously still going to be paying attention. Can you sustain this? Can you string this out? Because if there is a potential plantar fasciitis question mark, great. Just another thing that could potentially derail something like this.
All right. So it's like the end of the presser, right? And I've whiffed on the first Jamal question, so I'm trying to get back. I'm not trying to get back in the good graces. I genuinely like to ask.
Yeah,
and it's also tough because if you're Ben Durando and you're with the guys on the road trips, you can be like, "Hey, how's the hamstring doing?" And you see, like, it seems like a little genuine. You're not just trolling for information. If like I do that, then it seems like I'm just trolling for information. And so I actually try and do it at the presser because then it's like it's in front of everybody. You get to talk about it, just like state what your injury situation is. But I did just genuinely. I always do kind of like to do that because I am like. Sucks, man. Like, I don't want my hamstring to hurt. That sucks. My calf hurts. I hate it. So I asked him, like, hey, how's the hamstring? He was like, pretty good. It loosened up. He's like, I honestly didn't know if I'd be able to go today, but it loosened up, felt good. Got off to a good start, and it was okay. And he was like, just dealing with a lot of things this season, plantar fasciitis, but everybody's dealing with something. And then that was his last question. So PR was like, okay, thank you, Jamal. And Jamal's like, thank you. And like, I sat there with, if you're watching on youtube.com, you can see this. I stood there like this for And like Bennett Duranda turns around and is like, does he? And then Brendan Vogt from DMVR is like, did he just? And we're like, he said, you like, I'm not crazy. He said he's got plantar fasciitis, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know. I guess he's got, I mean, if you want to know why a player looks the way that he has, I will say that plantar fasciitis is like, oh, of course it's plantar fasciitis. Now, I don't know. Like, we'll have to wait to kind of hear what the official deal is here. But I'm just saying, like, very, very strange to just all of a sudden be like, oh, by the way.
Jamal has hidden injuries before. He has been a guy before that doesn't like to share that he's going through stuff, that he is like not trying to make excuses in this regard. He tries to play through the ankle injuries. You remember when he had a sports hernia for his entire rookie season?
Oh yeah, that was a fun one.
And then played 82. Like that was a thing. So like this is something that's kind of ingrained into him that he's always sort of had, and he never wants to make the excuse. But honestly, like not a bad time to drop it. Like he had a good game. He obviously played through. He figured it out. That was a good time to sort of soft float the fact that he has been dealing with more than just the standard like bumps and bruises, I'd say. But he did kind of pass it off as standard bumps and bruises, which I think is fascinating because plantar fasciitis is not that.
Not that at all. And yeah, like there is a question of, did he have this and it would have been better for him to sit, but he just signed a contract and so he felt like he had to play? I mean, I don't know.
The thing, I mean, he's always said, I'm healthy. Like, and the team has said, I am healthy.
Yeah, and the team, I'll say that, look, that's on the team, right? If the team doesn't report it, then we can't really react otherwise. So we'll see what Jamal says, but he played well tonight. You have any thoughts on Christian Braun?
I saw that you tweeted during the game about the 3-point shooting, and I thought that, I mean, not an unsurprising timing for it, because you did want to wait for a little bit to see, like, okay, is he gonna bounce back a little bit from this? Is he gonna make some of these shots? No, he didn't. He didn't make the shots. What is he, 2 of 14 in December? Is that the number?
Yeah,
that is not high enough. And 0 of 4 from 3. Did shoot 4 of 4 from 2. Oh wow, only 8 points. I just recognized that. He lost his double-digit streak. It's now at 22 games, and that is it. So he'll just have to start a new one. But he has been super consistent on the 2-pointers. That one is very clear. The 3-pointers it's something that everybody's going to have to deal with, that he's going to have to deal with. I'm glad that he took more tonight. I think that that's important that he continues to take them. That's how a shooting guard is supposed to shoot, right? You have to take the shots when they're open, but he looked uncomfortable taking them.
You know where he missed them from? Above the break. From the corners.
He missed one above the break. Was it 3 in the corners?
Yeah, 3 in the corners.
Man, all right. Well, we'll see where it goes from here, but I gotta imagine that like he'll go through a little bit of shooting slump, and like you say, guys have bad months. Maybe next month they'll be good.
Aaron Gordon 1 of 2 from 3. He continues his good shooting. Jokic goes 2 of 2.
Just up that 3-point percentage just because.
It's just ridiculous. And Porter goes 2 of 7. This game was so weird.
I know. Porter can't shoot right now. He one of those shots, I think, bounced off of the rim and then the backboard and went in. I don't know about the other one, but just kind of wild that he is the shooting talent that he is, and still kind of struggling on that. But again, he went 3 of 4 inside the arc and 5 of 6 from the line, 4 assists. Like, he did do other things. It's just that he's not shooting the ball well, which is wild.
Joker plays less than 30 minutes. The starters all play less than 30, except for Jamal, who only goes to 31-35.
That's great.
And they, the bench stabilized in the fourth quarter, didn't get run out, and extended the league, and that was it. Like, if the bench is going to be a plus, they're going to win most nights and then be pretty comfortable.
I do want to say, though, that like this is how it should be. This is not like this is a win that they have not had a lot of this year. A comfortable home win against a quality team, like where you went to their house and they got you and now you get them. That is what is supposed to happen in the NBA. And while it was good to see them bounce back, it was, again, a weird game, as you mentioned. I just think that before we get all like wound up about, hey, the Nuggets are back, like you got to let this ride for a little bit. You got to see it. And I still need to see more because they still turned the ball over 22 times tonight. Like, I just want to see them put together a complete game.
The most interesting comment to me tonight, and we'll kind of wrap with this, is was MPJ, who was asked about, did the Washington game change something for you guys? And he said that he was like, actually, it was before the Washington game. He said, we kind of knew before the Washington loss that we're not very good right now.
Like, the Cleveland game, I think, should have been the indication.
Yeah.
That Cleveland was just a flat out better team.
And so just to kind of hear that from MPJ and for them to kind of like have a collective, like, all right, this is not good enough. All right. We tried skating by, because like, I do wonder a lot about this with teams in the Nuggets position. When you are the new contender and you're finding out how good you can be, every game is fun and exciting. And then when you're the Nuggets, you're very much like, yeah, no, we should be in the title picture. We have Nikola, and we have the same team that we have the same 4 guys that won a title. And so you're trying to like pace yourself because you know how long the season is, but you can't pace yourself. And MPJ talked about that within the context of the game too, about how like they've apparently really talked about, we got to stop starting slow. We can't be down 10 points in the first quarter anymore. And MPJ talked about, he's like, well, one of the things is like you're easing into a game because you're trying to get a sense for how they're going to play and what the pace is going to be and what the energy is going to be and who's feeling it and who's not and what's the defensive coverage. You know, how are they guarding me? He's like, but that can't affect our aggressiveness is kind of what we learned. And I was like, that's a really good lesson. Like, that's just like, hey, you know, you don't have to it's okay for you to make the wrong decision and figure out what's going on, but hit first, always hit first. And Malone talked a lot about how glad he was to see them be physical tonight. So I thought it was a weird game. It was a very non-Nuggets game offensively, but it was a really good defensive performance, and that's something to build on.
4 guys that won a title. Mike has been in trade rumors over the course of these past couple weeks because of other guys that have been in trade rumors and because of the Nuggets situation. I really appreciate, and I wasn't at practice yesterday, but Mike did speak at that point. I really appreciate Mike's professionalism with the media over the course of these past few years. And the way that he has approached things, the way that he tries to think about things, the way that he's doing everything that he can to like keep it honest, keep it real, but also go about the process. I asked him the final question and was just like, hey, do you sense the hunger still from this group? And he unabashed said, if you're not hungry with the process that we have to go through, with the process that I go through, to get us ready every single day, to be ready for this moment. The game is supposed to be fun. You should be having fun. And the game hasn't been fun for the Nuggets for a while. This was, in the second half, the first fun game that they've played in a little bit. So I'm very curious to see whether they can translate that a little bit and whether he can be a part of that with the team together, because I think he's earned the right based off of how he has started the season, how he has approached the season, and hopefully the team can back him up a little bit. Hopefully the entire group can get together and bounce back a little bit.
Russell Westbrook was really good tonight. He was awesome. I thought he was really great tonight.
Yeah.
You're not convincing at all. Thanks for joining us. Appreciate you guys being with us. Swipe and I will do a show on Saturday, so you'll have that content. Then I'm back with Ryan on Sunday for No Jinx, and we're off and running once again. Nuggets play Sunday versus Sacramento. Or is it Monday? Monday versus
play Monday night. A couple days off. They need it, despite the fact that they have had several days off. I do think that it's a good part of the process. I need them to, like, because they were 0-5 heading into this game on 2 days off.
Yep.
So like, prove it that you can do it again.
Also the Nuggets did rebounding drills. Thing they worked on.
Maybe the mic and drill.
All right. Thanks for joining us. Appreciate you guys being with us. Follow around on Twitter at NBA Blackburn. I'm at HP Basketball. I'll have some stuff on Denver Dig from this game coming up. Appreciate you guys being with us. Have a great weekend. We'll see you guys again next time on Locked On Nuggets.